Just 1, 2, 1, 2. Could we really use our hands right now to clap for us? I'd like to officially say I'm going to stick to my path.
Detroit, baby.
That's right. My spiritual path is the right path for me to be on. So I'm just letting you know how you know if you're on the right path. There'll be a lot of love and a lot of joy coming down. I feel like jumping around today.
Oh, yeah.
Want us to dance?
If you feel like it,
Okay.
you can always dance.
I know.
Big place to boogie.
Okay, where are we at?
You are blessed indeed. You are blessed. 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 Yet sometimes in this world you don't know it. You're blessed, but sometimes in this world you don't know it. Sometimes you don't know you're blessed. Is this true?
Yes.
This is true.
But you have the means to learn that you're blessed. There's a way for you to learn that you're blessed. There's a way for you to learn that you are blessed. And there's a way to see that you are blessed quite clearly. So you're blessed. You may not think you're blessed, but there's a way to know you're blessed, and there's a way to know that you're blessed clearly. Now, the part of your mind that has some sense, and yes, there is a part of your mind that has some sense that the Course calls the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the part of your mind that is infinitely wise and connected to Source and knows exactly how to make you aware that you're blessed. It's called the Holy Spirit. That's the part of you that is sane and loving. There's a part of you that's sane, there's a part of you that's loving, and that part of you that knows how to do the truth can use logic just as well as the crazy part. So the loving part of you can use reason and logic just as easy as the crazy part of your mind. You better still follow me. All right. Except when you use the logic and the reasoning that comes from the sane part of you, the loving part of you, the powerful part of you, it says when you do that, its conclusions are not insane. In other words, when you're listening to your God self, you don't feel like you're going crazy. I'll say it again. When you're listening to your God self, you don't feel like you're going crazy. When you're listening to your right mind, you don't feel like you're going crazy. Right with me?
Yes.
So that means the part of you that loves you and the part of you that doesn't, they go in directly opposite directions. So the part of you that loves you goes in a totally opposite direction from the part of you that doesn't. And the part of you that loves you is always going to point to your total and complete happiness and your total and complete joy. And the part of you that doesn't exactly feel really crazy about you, you're not in its top 10 list, that part of you is always pointing to darkness and you're going to die. You're going to struggle, it's going to be crappy, you may have a couple of relationships you like before you want to kill them. And then you're gonna maybe get your Social Security and you're gonna die. That's what one part of your mind tells you. And then it says, we have followed much of the logic of your insane mind, and we've seen the logical conclusions of your insane mind. And the logical conclusions of your insane mind is that you feel fear. So let me get this straight. When I'm listening to my sane mind, it's pointing to my joy, and it's pointing to my happiness, and it's pointing to love. And when I'm listening to my insane mind, I'm looking forward to death one day. So we following you with me so far?
Yes.
All right. And having seen the logical conclusions of these two parts of your mind, you realize that you can't see any conclusions that make you feel afraid except when you're listening to something that's not true about you.
Yes.
So you are only afraid when you're telling yourself something that's not true about you. You're only afraid when you're telling yourself something that's not true. Because it's just in the darkness of fear that everything that frightens you seems to be clear to see. So the things that frighten you are clearly seen when you're in fear.
Yes.
The things that frighten you are clearly seen when you're in fear. So let us now turn away from it. So now let's turn away from the things you're telling yourself that makes you feel any kind of discomfort or fear. And then the Course in Miracles says, I want you to follow the simple logic by which love is going to teach you the simple conclusions that speak for the truth and only for the truth. So I'm going to give you, we've been listening to the crazy part of our mind. We know what the guilty part of our mind does to us. We know what the anger and the fear and the sense of separation does to us. And there's another part of us that's full of love and that's sane and that's beautiful and that's whole and that has its act together. It's badass.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
You got to pray to your badass self. No, got to pray to it. Badass self. I need some badass look. I need some badass love. I need some badass finances. I need some badass connection to you, badass. Amen.
Amen.
So there's a part of me that's crazy, there's a part of me that's sane, the part of me that's crazy and doesn't know the truth. Always makes me look at things that make me feel afraid. The part of me that's loving and cares about me and knows the truth is always pointing to my happiness and success. And so there's a way that I can hear some simple words, so I can come to some simple conclusions, so that I'm only listening to what's speaking the truth to me. I want to learn how to only hear what's speaking the truth to me. Don't you?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to cover the conditions of learning as much as I can. Okay. The conditions of learning. If you are blessed and don't know it, if you are blessed and don't know it, you need to learn. You need to learn that it must be so. If you are blessed and don't know it, you need to learn it must be so. If you are blessed and you don't know it, you need to learn. What do you need to learn? You need to learn that you are blessed. Ready? So if you got abundance and prosperity and you don't know it, if you have so much love that could be coming into your life right now in the perfect relationship for you and you don't know it, if there's some happiness out there and you don't know it, then it says that you must understand you need to learn that you're blessed, but the knowledge that you're blessed can be taught. You need to learn you're blessed, but the knowledge can't be taught. What? In other words, you need to acquire the conditions for knowing that you are blessed. You need the conditions for knowing you are blessed. Because you threw them away. Wow. So there's a condition, in other words, it's almost like if I'm in a condition of feeling completely full, then I pretty much can realize I must have eaten. If I'm in a condition that's totally loving and peaceful, at some level I must be telling myself the truth. In other words, if you're blessed and you don't know you're blessed, you need the conditions that a blessed person would have.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So then it says, and what the part that you guys might not be aware of is that you threw the conditions away in which you would know you were blessed. Nobody else did it. Okay, I'll hear it. I don't have to believe it. Then it goes on to say, now you can learn to bless, but you can't give somebody what you don't have. You can't give people love you don't have. You can't give people peace you don't have. You can't give people love you don't have. You can't give happiness to people that so unhappy people gonna make people happy don't happen. If you're an unhappy person and you're looking for somebody to love, you don't have nothing to give them. So you need to leave them alone until you get happy. Then when you get happy, then try to join with somebody. Don't be taking your unhappy self to somebody looking for them to make you happy.
Yes, right on.
But I got a nice butt. Okay, come on. I'll take you to a class in a couple of weeks. People who judge don't like my class. I guarantee you. All right. Then he goes on to say, this is really deep. It says you can learn to bless. You can't give somebody what you don't have. So if you're going to offer a blessing, the blessing has got to come to you first. If I'm going to offer abundance, I'm sorry, universe.
Yes.
You got to give me some abundance first.
Yes.
Then it goes on to tell us that you must also, though, accept it as yours. So you got to offer it if you want it to come to you, but you also have to accept that the blessing is yours, because if I don't accept that the blessing is mine, how can I give it away? If I don't accept that the blessing is mine, how can I give it away? If I don't accept that the love is mine, how can I give it away? If I don't accept that the abundance is mine, how can I give it away? And then the chorus goes on to say, this is really different. He said, that's why miracles offer you the testimony that you're blessed. So you deserve to have miracles. You deserve to have states of abundance, because that's the testimony that you are really blessed. How I know I'm really blessed? Because I have all the conditions that a blessed being would have. And I have to give it away in order to have it, but I have to have it before I can give it away. So what do I do about that?
Yeah.
So how, look, he says, now what you have to do is you have to offer forgiveness and complete forgiveness. If you want to offer that, you must let your guilt go, because forgiveness is correct perception. Forgiveness is correct perception. Forgiveness isn't overlooking what you think somebody did to you. Forgiveness isn't overlooking what you think somebody did to you. Forgiveness is you finally seeing everything correctly. So when you say, I need to forgive you, you're saying, I need to see you correctly. I need to see you correctly. I need to see you with love. I need to see you with peace. I need to forgive you. I need to see you correctly. That's what it means. I need to forgive you. I need to see you correctly. So if I'm going to see you correctly, which would allow me to see the blessing that I have, that I don't see that I have, because I got a grievance which is blocking my being able to see the blessing, then I really, really need to know that I got the blessing. So what do? I have to see you correctly. And how do I see you correctly? How can I know if I'm seeing you correctly so I can see my blessing? How can I know if I'm seeing you correctly so I can get my blessing? How do I know if I'm seeing you correctly so that I can see my blessing? The question has to be answered. Am I learning that you are guiltless? Am I learning that you are innocent? I'm not seeing you correctly until I see you as innocent and without sin. Well, so much for how many people I'm seeing correctly. You see me correctly to the extent to which you see me as innocent standing up here. You see me incorrectly to the extent that you don't see me as innocent. And if you don't see me as innocent, then you won't see your blessings. Because that means your mind is full of unforgiveness, and so therefore you can't see your abundance, because a person that's full of grievances can never see anything good, or their blessings, or their wealth. So you got to get out that grievance stuff, because that grievance stuff is keeping you from seeing the storehouse of treasures that's been laid up for you by the infinite creator as your divine right, because you're so juicy. You know you're juicy, don't you? You know you're juicy. You know you're juicy. That's right. I have to wipe the seats off when you leave.
You just went there. Yeah.
Thank you. There's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Amen.
Worst thing that could happen is somebody who don't like me won't be around me. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody that don't like to leave, that's somebody that don't like you that's not around you, which is a blessing. Don't you think so?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever tried to get them back?
Oh my God.
You ever tried to get somebody back? You never experienced rejection and then tried to get that? Well, very unusual person. Very unusual, because most people have at least one story want something that didn't want them, and want somebody that didn't want them in some way their whole life. Wow. Wow. So the truth is saying, well, how can you learn? And this is a great question. How can you learn what's been done for you? How can you learn what's been done for you, but you don't know it? How can you learn what's been done for you unknown to you? How can you learn what's been done for you that you don't know about? Unless, this is the way you do it. If you want to become aware of something you don't know about, if you want to become aware of some abundance you don't know about, if you want to be aware of some happiness you don't know about, if you want to be aware of some success you don't know about, if you want to be aware of some connection to power, spirit that you don't know about, if you want to be aware of some connection to something that's really cool that you don't know about, this is what you do.
Okay, tell us.
What you do is, you do what you would have to do if it had been done for you. You do what you would do if you were blessed. You act the way you would act if you were loved. You would do what you would do if you knew you were abundant. You would do what you would do if you really were happy. You would do what you would do if you had it. That's the way you become aware of something that you have that you don't think you have, is you do what you'd have to do if you had it.
Wow.
So if I have peace that I don't know I have, then I'd have to do what I would do if I had peace, which is to be peaceful. Be loving. You do what you would do if you had it and don't know that you had it. You do what you would do if you had it, if you don't know that you have it and you had it. You do what you would do if you had it, if you don't know that you have it and you do have it. Now you know what to do if you think you don't have it. You do what you would do if you had it. If I really thought I was prosperous, I wouldn't be worried all day. I wouldn't be thinking about money all day. I wouldn't be worried about if I was going to pay my bills all day, if I had the money to pay my bills. So now I got to stop worrying about my bills all day while I don't have the money to pay them. I do what I would do if it was that way, but I didn't know it. So I would get the state of mind, a state of mind that was a state of mind that was about the idea of my abundance. Whether I had the money or not. Woo! Woo! Now, any questions or any comments about anything I've shared so far? Yes.
Essentially, you're saying be what you want.
That's how you have anything you want, you be it. As soon as I want to experience something, I try to cultivate that quality in myself. If I want to be if I want people to be responsible who are around me and don't see me as responsible for their happiness, I like to be around people who don't see me as responsible for their happiness.
Right.
I like to be around people who don't see me as responsible for their happiness. I love to be around people who don't see me as responsible for their happiness, because those people are called none high maintenance. Now, them jokers that see you as responsible for their happiness are blaming you all the time for what you're not doing that's making them unhappy. They're high friggin' maintenance. They don't even know what they want, so they couldn't even recognize if you were doing it. If you don't know what you want, and that's why you're miserable, well then how could you recognize if somebody was giving you what you want if you didn't know?
And they're not responsible for my happiness.
And they're not responsible for your happiness. They're not responsible. That's the part I don't like.
I don't like it.
I like to think you're responsible for my happiness, but I'm not responsible for yours. I like that better. That's my preferred way of doing it. Anybody else know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. I like that, Earl. You saying I'm not responsible for anybody. Hold it. Wait a minute. Hold it. That means that I'm gonna be attracting a bunch of people that's not trying to make me happy.
Yep. Wow. Love that.
I want to be around people that's trying to make me happy. Wait a minute. They said if I try to make them feel guilty for not making me happy, you mean they won't go along with that? You mean they might just say it's my responsibility for my happiness and not allow me to manipulate them through guilt and anger and fear? I don't know if I want this path. You know, even if I run up on somebody that really loves themselves, I can't play none of my manipulative games. Oh no, I'm going to stay asleep and unconscious. Because I'll find other guilty people who feel guilty enough to buy the stuff I'm putting on them, enough to try to make me happy, even though I'm making them feel responsible for it. I want to be around some people like that. Then if they don't do what I want, I'll get real angry, and then they respond to my anger by doing what I want them to do. That's the kind of people I want to be around.
So there's an element of pretending.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's actually,
or like acting as
you can
if.
look at it as pretending, but it would be better to look at it as if you're looking at it the way it really is, but I just don't know it.
Okay, but
Which
can you
is
give me an
different.
example of how that would be demonstrated or embodied
Right.
with success?
The success of it kind of depends on how you feel about doing it and how you feel about doing it. But all I'm saying is, I'm going to present myself to you as if I'm already blessed. Whether I think I'm blessed or not, I'm standing up here in front of you and I am expressing myself, not pretending, I'm expressing myself like I'm blessed, but it's just like somebody telling you, you just won $1 million and the ticket is at home. Well, you don't have $1 million with you right now, but because you know the ticket is there, you'll be acting like a millionaire. Just because you know it, even if you don't see it yet. Okay? So you have to let go of trying to expect, like, for instance, if I'm standing in front of a mirror and I'm getting mad at the mirror because it's showing me with the black jacket on. So I get upset with that mirror because it's reflecting back a black jacket, and I'm trying to get rid of the black jacket, and I'm mad because it looks like I'm still seeing it, and so I blame the mirror. And I said, the mirror, you're showing me a black jacket, so I'm going to go find another mirror. And then it shows me another black jacket. Then I go to another mirror, bigger mirror. It shows me a black jacket because that's what I'm wearing. So it's going to always reflect to me what it is that I'm expressing and what it is that I'm being. And I used to try to change mirrors, which I call people in relationships and locations and things, but I kept the jacket on. So I'm not going to Now when I look in the mirror, I will not see a black jacket because I'm not wearing the black jacket anymore. So you're looking at your black jacket every day in your life. And you may be the person trying to change the mirror and not change the jacket. And you're wondering why your relationships stay the same, your job stay the same, your spiritual growth stay the same. Everything is staying the same because you're still wearing the same jacket expecting the mirror to show you something new. And that, my friends, is why your life is the way it is. And isn't it great news to know that you can get out of it? There's a means by which you can learn that you're blessed, even if you don't know you're blessed. And the way that you can learn that you're blessed, even though you don't know that you were blessed, would be to do what you would do as if you were blessed. So this is the way you do it. First of all, if you offer a blessing, it must have come first to yourself, and you must also have accepted the blessing as yours, or how else could you give it away if you didn't accept it as yours? That's why miracles, which are your states of completion and abundance, that's why your happiness offers you the testimony that you are blessed. Things that happen to you that allow you to recognize you're happy, that's how we're going to find out we're blessed. We're going to find out we're blessed because we're going to have things happen to us that is so incredible that we would have to stop denying it. That's how we're going to be healed. Those of us who don't believe in our abundance and love and peace and joy, the way that we're going to come to the realization of it according to the Course in Miracles is you're going to become so friggin' blessed in your perception that you can no longer deny you're blessed. And those of you who are still looking at your own creations, you're maybe not happy right now because you're seeing how unsuccessful you've been at doing that. I don't know about you, but I have received gifts that it looked like I didn't buy.
Amen.
Yep.
So don't say you can't be gifted. Don't say you can't receive things as gifts. Do not tell yourself that lie that everything good that comes to you must be something you paid for or something that you earned, because all of you have examples of times you received stuff you didn't pay for and you didn't earn, and it was a gift. So get off it if you think you can be given by God. Get off it if you think you can be given by the universe. Get off it. The whole thing of you can't receive unless you earn it is of the old, fearful, insane way of thinking.
Yeah.
So that's good news.
Yeah.
So then it says, now accepting the truth for yourself, how can you tell when you've accepted the truth for yourself? According to this, which we don't have to believe, remember that you don't have to believe this. I'm just sharing these ideas. I'm not saying you have to believe it. It says that if you're struggling, basically, if you haven't accepted the truth for yourself, then you haven't learned that you are guiltless. You haven't learned that you are totally innocent. You are totally innocent. You are totally innocent. You are totally innocent. Now, if that's working right, if I tell you over and over you're totally innocent, it should bring up a few thoughts that you feel guilty about. The more I say you're innocent, the more the part of your mind that doesn't believe it. How could I be innocent? Do you remember prom night? That's why if I tell you that you're loved, you're loved, you're loved, you're loved, instead of people jumping up and down with joy when I tell them that they're loved, everything that's not loving about them it comes up in their awareness, and it's hard to get excited because then you become aware of how much you believe you're not loved. But if I say, I hate you and you're no good, 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 if I say that to you, enough, you'll go, oh, I'm not that bad. You start focusing on the love. Well, wait a minute, I think I do deserve love. No, I don't really think I'm as bad as you keep saying. So notice the opposite comes up. I hate you, you don't deserve love. Then you go, oh, I'm not that bad. But if I say you're totally loved, totally loving, and totally lovable, and you're totally sinless, and you're totally guiltless, and you're perfect, and you're whole, and you're complete, and there's nothing missing in you, oh, okay, trying to get my money.
Yeah.
That dude's trying to get my money. Because you know he can really skip town on $1. Where's Earl? He's in Paris. So, anybody else? Another question? Another comment before I get even deeper? Yes.
So a way for me to work with that idea is to bring it to my attention every moment as much as I can, because that's where the power is right then.
That's right. That's right.
Repeat.
That's so true. If people could ever get that the reason why they're unhappy right now has nothing to do with the past or the future. If you could really get that anything that's making you feel unhappy right now has absolutely nothing to do with what happened to you in the past, and has nothing to do with what will happen to you in the future. Your fear doesn't have anything to do with what's going to happen to you in the future and what you think you went through in the past. Your fear is always based on something you're telling yourself right now. You're telling yourself something right now, and that is what's making you feel afraid. not the thing you think you're telling yourself about. It's the fact that you're telling yourself this stuff that's upsetting you. Doesn't matter what you're telling yourself. You could go, I'm telling myself that my mother mistreated me when I was 5 years old. She dropped me on my head.
Right.
That was it. She dropped me on my head. I have never been able to have a girlfriend since. That's the reason why. What? My daddy dropped me on my head. That's why I'm broke. Everybody knows that daddy dropped you on your head makes you broke for the rest of your life. Right? And no, it's not the fact that that's what I think happened. It's the fact that I'm sitting up here telling myself my daddy dropped me on my head. That's what's made. In this moment, I could be telling myself, I'm blessed and I don't know it. I'm entitled to miracles. I'm sustained by the love of God. I'm totally innocent. I'm guiltless. I'm never alone. I have help. I have a guidance. I place the future in the hands of God. I could be telling myself anything that's but I'm telling myself, my daddy dropped me on my head. My daddy dropped me on my head, and that's why I don't have a girlfriend. I could be going, I'm infinite. I'm powerful. I am spirit. I'm not a body. I am free. I rest in God.
Yeah.
See, I could be telling myself in this moment something that inspired me instead of telling myself something in this moment that's making me afraid. It doesn't matter what I'm not trying to make myself afraid about. The problem is I'm choosing to tell myself something that makes me feel bad. And then of course it's saying, well, the only reason why you feel bad is because unconsciously you think you're guilty, sinful, and bad, even though you might think you don't use those terms. He said, that's what's really going on is you are clinging to the thoughts that hurt your feeling because you feel so guilty. You think you deserve to be punished and don't deserve to feel good. So when you don't think you deserve to feel good, you tell yourself things to make you feel bad.
Yep.
It's that simple. I wish I could make this more complicated, then I'd seem like a much deeper teacher to y'all. And you walk away and go, that bill's deep. All we say was, I'm driving myself crazy. I know it's a deeper, more complicated reason than that. And I'm telling you that you won't stop driving yourself crazy until you accept the atonement for yourself. And accepting the atonement for yourself, it says, it's accepting that you're innocent. So how helpful is it to be in relationships and friendships with people who are constantly trying to make you feel guilty because they're making you responsible for their happiness? What kind of sense would that make to be in relationships that you're always being condemned and judged in if you know your salvation and your healing and your blessing is going to come from thinking that you're innocent? So first thing you got to do is check out the company you keep. If you really want to know your blessing, you better start checking out the company you keep.
It gets lonely.
Well, I'd much rather hear no voice than to hear crazy. I'd much rather be by myself than with a crazy person. Some people don't feel that way. They can't be alone. They can't be alone for one doggone second, so they got to have somebody with them all the time, or they're freaking out. Even if they're crazy. Even the person not even acknowledging them. Even the person not even telling them that they're beautiful and they're innocent and they're valued and they're treasured and they're loved. They living with somebody who actually is helping them feel more guilty.
Right. Yes.
And then sometimes you're playing the role of the crucified.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're the one that's making the other person feel guilty because they didn't take responsibility for your happiness the way that you wanted them to.
Right.
Do you know that the Course in Miracles says that there are people that are listening to me right now who won't hear a word that I'm saying because I'm saying that they need to change instead of the other person in other situation that they won't change? They say people who are unconscious, they don't want an answer that has anything to do with them taking any responsibility for what they're experiencing. So they only can hear the answers you give that has nothing to do directly with them changing. So if I told you it was in the lottery ticket, a person would hear that quicker than they would hear isn't acting as if you're blessed even though you don't know that you're blessed so that you can become aware that you're blessed. They won't hear that, but they'll hear, oh, if you get a Powerball ticket, you might do $100 million. Because the unconscious mind is always looking for answers that has nothing to do with them.
Yep.
Okay, let me let you get that. Because it's kind of loud. It's kind of disrupting my continuum.
It was cash.
No, keep on. We'll wait. See how it is. So you need indirect proof that you're blessed. And And you need to prove that you're blessed in a world that's made out of denial. In a world that's made out of denial, do you know that that's a world that doesn't have any direction? So we're in a world that doesn't have any direction, but you need to learn that you're blessed in this world that it looks like you don't have any, that doesn't have any direction. Is this true? It looks like we need to know that we're blessed in a world that looks like it doesn't have any direction. So you will perceive the need for this if you realize that when you deny something, all you've done is made the decision not to know. When you deny something, you're saying, I've decided not to know this. So if I deny love, it just means I've decided not to know love. I'm denying that love is in my life. I'm deciding not to know love in my life. I'm denying that love is in my life. I am denying that love is in my life. I have made the decision not to know that there's love in my life. I've made the decision not to know that there's love in my life. Whenever I deny my wealth, deny my abundance, deny love, deny happiness, every time I do that, I say, I'm going to continue to make the decision not to know this in my life. I'm going to continue to make the decision not to know abundance in my life by telling you how broke I am all the time and how much I'm in lack. I'm making the decision not to know love in my life because I'm going to continue to tell you about what this other person did to me to hurt my feelings and to fail me and abandon me in some way. If I made the decision to deny something, I made the decision not to know it in my life. So every time a person denies the truth about themselves, that they are loved, that they are powerful, that they are abundant, that they are responsible, they have decided to know everything but that. So that they know pain, they know fear, they know lack, and they know loneliness because they made the decision to not know the abundance by continuing to deny that it's there.
If I deny fear, why does it stick around? Denying fear, why does it stick around?
If you're not what now?
With denying fear, why does it stick around?
When you deny fear, it doesn't stick around. So that's how you know that when you deny fear, then you get a chance to know what fear really is so that you can let it go. Because the truth is, if I was to start to deny fear, what I would be doing is acknowledging the love. Acknowledging the love is you getting rid of the denial through fears. Because it's something I acknowledge is no longer something that I deny, and something that I acknowledge is always something I can do something about. Something that I hide from myself is something I don't get a chance to deal with. So as long as I hide anything from myself, that's my decision to keep it going. So even if I hid my fear, but the fear was real, then I would still be meeting the things that I fear, but it would look like it was coming from somebody else and not from me. So anytime you feel something, but you're denying that you feel it, you will attract people to you who give you that fear back to you so that you will know what's going on inside of you, but you're projecting it into them. So if I got a lot of fear and anger, but I'm walking around telling you I don't have the fear and anger, then that decision is still going to produce a result in my life because it's in my mind. But it will look like it's coming through everybody else and not from me. So everything you're in denial about is what you see in your personal life. Everything in your personal life is what's going on in your own mind, but you are denying that it's there. So it's coming to you in the form of people who are giving you an opportunity to correct it in yourself. And you correct it in yourself by giving it to that part of your mind that I talked about at the very beginning, the Holy Spirit part of your mind, which is the part of your mind that treasures you and loves you and adores you and knows that it's connected to Source and is all powerful. You want to give your problems to that part of you and stop giving your problems to the part of you that's afraid of everything. But that's not what we do. The same self that makes the fear is the same one we go to try to alleviate it, and nothing ever changes. Whoa. Whoa. I know, I like to give light classes. Okay, now, then the Course in Miracles says, the logic of the world must therefore lead to nothing because the goal of the world is nothing. So if you decide to have nothing, give nothing, and be nothing, if you decided to have nothing, give nothing, and be nothing, then you got to take your thoughts and direct your thoughts carefully to oblivion. I got to direct my thoughts to oblivion. If I don't want to be nothing, have nothing, and give nothing, then my mind has to be blank and I can't think about anything that's real. So now I'm really trying to keep up with the Kardashians. I got to occupy my mind with a bunch of meaningless stuff that has no meaning at all if I'm trying to make sure I don't have nothing I deserve. So a person that has decided not to have anything is a person who focuses their mind on things that don't mean anything. Woo. 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 Now, if you have and give and are everything, but you're denying this, if you have everything and you're denying this, if you have abundance and you're denying this, if you have love but you're denying this, it means your way of thinking is closed off. That means you have a closed mind. If you have everything but you're denying you have everything, if you have everything you could ever want and it's already available to you right now but you don't see it, your way of thinking is closed off from the truth. The way you think is closed off from the truth. The way you think is wrong. The way you're thinking is wrong. If you are rich and you don't know you're rich and you're denying that you're rich, it's something that you're telling yourself that's closing you off from your wealth. It's your mind that's closed. Earl.
Sunshine.
Now, what is a closed mind? A closed mind is a mind that's separate from the truth. It's a mind that thinks differently from the truth. The truth says I'm abundant and I'm whole. I am saying that I am in lack and incomplete. So my way of thinking is actually closed off from the truth. Wow. This is an insane world. This is an insane world, and I would like to ask you not to underestimate the extent of its insanity. It's crazier than you think.
It used to be innocent.
Ultimately, it is. We have some thoughts about it that's keeping us from seeing it like we should.
Thank you.
So the Course says, don't you underestimate how crazy you are. Now, I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm not trying to be insulting. I'm just trying to get us to the point where we see our blessings. Are y'all up to that?
Yes.
Okay, well, the first thing you got to understand, I know you're trying to be positive. Okay, I know you're trying to be a positive thinker. It's probably you just probably right now you're dying 1,000 deaths. I know that. If you're a positive thinker, you're about to die right now in your chair. But you know, yeah. But I want to tell you, in total love, we are crazier than we think we are. I'm saying that y'all cute. I'm cute. I know you think you aren't. I know you think you aren't crazy. I think I am not either. I think I see craziness out there. I see craziness on TV. I see craziness in the newspaper. I see craziness in my relatives. I see craziness in my friends. I even saw some craziness at King Super. But somehow or another, there's no craziness in me. Everything around me is crazy. But I'm not. Isn't that special? You're the only one that got any sense. There is no area of your perception that the insanity hasn't touched. So there's no area of the way you see things that some level of fear and separation hasn't touched. And then it says your dream is sacred to you. What does that mean? Whatever your fantasy is sacred to you. Whatever the script is you've written for your life, it's sacred to you. The way you think it ought to be for you to be happy, it's sacred to you. Your dream is sacred to you. Your dream is sacred to you. That's the same as saying that there's no area of your perception that hasn't been touched by insanity. Because there's a part of me that wants it my way. I want it my way. I want everybody to be the way I want you to be. I want you to do what I want you to do. I want you to act the way I want you to act. I want you to fulfill my fantasies. I want every one of you to fulfill my fantasies. And whenever I'm angry, it's because you're not. So there's no area of my perception that my insanity hasn't touched, because in every area of my life, I think I can make it the way I want it to be, even if it's not that way. I got up this morning trying to figure out how I could get everybody to do what I wanted them to do today to make me happy. And you did too. You called it your plan for today. It's the thing, it's how you planned your day. That was what I'm talking about. That's the insanity. That's what you're going to try to fit the world into all day. And everybody in the world is supposed to fulfill that fantasy that you've made up for what this day was supposed to be for you. And the Course says that's insanity. And that's why we're not happy. We're not happy because he says we don't even know what makes us happy, and we won't let the part of us that will make us happy because we're too busy trying to make ourselves happy unsuccessfully through the part of us that don't like us in the first place. You're trying to get the part of you that's insecure to make you happy. You're trying to get the part of you that thinks it's broke to make you happy. You're trying to get the part of you that's scared to death of intimacy to bring you your soul, man. The course is saying the crazy part of your mind is not going to bring you nothing loving. You can't go to the part of you that's afraid and think that that's the part of you that's going to bring you some love. That makes sense to me. But since the only part of me I know is the part that's afraid, it sounds like it's asking me not to do nothing. It is. Your problem is you're doing something. Like my mama used to say, I tried to help her. She'd go, just go sit down in the corner, boy. Just play with it. I can take care of everything. You just sit over there, and I'll take care of everything. That's what God's saying to us. Why don't y'all just sit your little butts down over in the side? You know you've been trying to make yourself happy since you were 1 year old. You haven't been able to succeed at any given time before you become unhappy and think you need something else to make you happy. So you don't know what your own best interests are. You don't even know what you really want. You don't even know what's best for you. You don't know nothing about nothing. You're crazy. Let us help you. And that is one of the most positive things I've ever heard. That's so freeing. Earl, you don't know, man. You don't know what makes you happy. You don't know how to really love anyone. You don't know how to have totally peaceful relationships completely. You don't know. You just know temporary. You just know how to do temporary. Everything you do is temporary. Have you noticed you're just temporary? Why don't you call your spiritual name temporary? Because all you do is stuff that doesn't last. You get relationships, they don't last. You try to get financial, they don't last. You're in a happy mood, it doesn't last. Everything you do doesn't last. When are you going to get that you're not focusing on anything that's real? You're just focusing on stuff you made up. How about having some reality? How about having some real love? How about having something you can depend on? How about having something that can guide you in ways that you never have to suffer? Are you interested in that? Are you so interested in that you be willing to admit that your way of thinking is closed off and separate from the truth and crazy so that you can be helped? I'm actually trying to help you get to the point you will accept help. That's how crazy you are, Earl. I got to teach you how to let yourself be helped. We're so nuts. But I don't know if this is a trick. Me being helped, this is a trick. Me deserving, you telling me I deserve love no matter what. It's a trick. Because anybody that will love me, they are a poor judge of character. And I don't trust them. That's where it is with a person who don't love themselves. They don't think they're worthy. They walk up on somebody like me to go, hey, you're innocent, you're guiltless, you're loving, you're blessed, but you don't know it. You just have to act the way you would act if you were blessed to know you're blessed. But I'm going to see you as innocent and guiltless until you can see it for yourself, so that all the good things can come to you that you're keeping from coming to you by all the stupid things you think. I'm Earl. Hi. Really not a body. That's why when you become sane, you help people silently. Why do you think God's so quiet? We kill God and we could catch up with God. Y'all know it would. It'd be like a vigilante squad. Let's get God. Let's get God. God put me here and left me completely unprotected. I have to pay taxes. Let's get God. Why do you think Jesus is invisible? Same thing. That's right. All you beings outside of the body, all those parts of us spiritual beings that's not in the body, I call you wimps. That's right. Because when you're in the body, you feel pleasure and pain. Outside the body, you know you don't have any at all. All you have is bliss. So we were really, hey, we wanted to try something new. We were an adventurous souls. We got, take us to hell. That was us. Come on, we want to go to hell. We the tough spirits. That's right. We want to learn some lessons. Send us to earth. we get here, I want you to make us forget who we really are. See, we're going to forget we're these unlimited spiritual beings, and we're going to, what should we be? Oh yeah, people. Let's call ourselves people. Okay? And then to make sure we don't even enjoy the trip we're giving ourselves by forgetting who we are so we can be in the body, we're gonna, okay, we could enjoy this physical realm for a while, but we don't really love ourselves. We want to make things a little bit tougher, so let's make up the belief in guilt and sin. Yeah! Now, I'm here for a little while, but I can't enjoy it. Because I feel guilty about what I did that doesn't even exist anymore. Now do y'all see what I mean when I say, we're crazy? We're crazy! You know that's crazy, that's totally crazy. But it doesn't seem crazy to somebody that wants to suffer. That's why you can't tell all your friends this stuff. If they still want to suffer, they're going to say, you nuts.
Yep.
That's right.
That's right. Anybody that still wants to forget that they're unlimited spiritual beings, the only way they can continue to play that game is to not remember who they are. So they're going to fight you every step of the way when you say you are more than just a body.
That's right.
And you have to have respect for their choice enough to let them be.
Yep.
Because when they're ready to wake up to another level of consciousness, their inner alarm clock will go off just like yours did, and they'll start to be on their spiritual path. So just leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone and hang out with the ones that you love and be the presence of happiness and party like a big dog. Unhappy people need to see some happy ones. Miserable people need to see some people who actually are enjoying themselves. That's what a demonstrator of love does. They become a demonstrator of the very thing they want for themselves.
Right.
Yes.
I was just going to say I had an experience just like this with my mom the other day, and I just see it as a blessing and a lesson because my current perspective is they're a reflection of an aspect of myself.
That's right.
And so when she's struggling that way, there is still a part of me that I think is struggling that way as well. So if I can find the way to look at her and practice without my mouth, saying, you know, you're a limitless being, you are love, you're all these things, it's almost like playing with her ego, so when my ego comes up and has the same exact cards hers has been playing, I already know how to respond. She's just sharpening my blade for my own enemy within.
You badass!
No way.
Woo! That was better than the 900 number there. I'm just going to call you up. Talk to me, Sinead. Tell me some truth. You're responsible for what you see. You'll answer, oh, yes. So you know now. You know now. Go out here and act like you blessed.
Yes.
What is one way you can do it the easiest? Stop talking about how unblessed you are. That's not being positive. That's not being positive. That's telling the truth. And the truth is you are blessed, but you just don't know it. So you entertain the idea that you're blessed, but you just don't know it. Just go that far. Go, I'm blessed, but I don't know it. I'm rich, but I don't know it. I have love, but I don't know it. Because if you say, I feel that way, but I don't know it, that's you both claiming that it's there, and then giving yourself a break because you don't know it, and also giving yourself a break because you don't see it. Because now you know why you don't see it. It's because you don't know it, but the fact that you don't know it doesn't mean that it's not there. So if you go, I'm rich, but maybe I don't know it. I'm happy, but I don't know it. If I'm looking at it as if it's there, but I'm not aware of it, just because you lose something doesn't mean that it's gone. It just means you don't remember where you left it. That's all. That's all. Everything that you think you don't have, it's not gone. You just don't realize where you left it. And you left it in the truth. That's where you left it. That's where it's time for me to stop now. So would you acknowledge yourself, please? So give yourself here that much. Now don't forget, I put all of my classes on my website, earlpurdy.com, and also you can get it on YouTube. And if you go and sign up for my contact list, I send it out every week. I repeat that over and over because it's through repetition that you affect the way you think. It's through repetition that you affect them. So you need to hear it again. You need to hear it again. And 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 you need to hear it again. Right?
That's why I'm here.
What's that?
That's why. So thank you for sharing with me, Holy Spirit. I do this full time in the world, just like you do what you do full time in the world. And I'm not earning. I'm being gifted, and you're being gifted. You're not earning this class. This class is a gift to you, and what you give to me is a gift to me. We're just exchanging gifts every Sunday. That's what we're doing. We're exchanging gifts every Sunday. Nobody's manipulating nobody. Nobody's taking advantage of anybody. You don't feel guilty about giving it to the Broncos? Don't feel guilty about giving it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wherever you think you're being blessed, it's always great when you give with a feeling of appreciation and gratitude. If you really feel like it. And if you don't, it's okay too. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh.
I have some gratitude.
Yeah.
I just want to say thank you for saying I don't know it, because I feel like that's the perfect, like, built-in way to fight the ego. Because you say I have abundance, but I don't know it, and then we'll argue like, but I know it, then I don't. You know, like it has a whole thing.
Yeah.
So then when the ego rebels against
That's
this
right.
thought, you're like, but I don't know it, and then it has no argument. You can't
And
fight
if
that.
you notice it, when you say I have wealth, but I don't know it, you know
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
It's like all of a sudden, as soon as you say that, you can feel a little part of you go, I can feel it.
Yeah.
It's like when I said, I am abundant, but I don't know it. So what do? I do what I would do if I had it, which would be what? Peaceful and loving and generous and open and kind, sane. You know, we're doing it by sitting here today. You're doing what you would do if you had it, because we're being peaceful with each other and loving with each other and open with each other. So you're already acting the way people act who have peace. You nobody's shooting each other, nobody's going off on each other. No matter what you think you're going through in your personal life, we're behaving the way you would behave if you had sanity. We're not attacking each other, and we're listening to different points of view. And believe me, it's okay if you don't agree with me. Because if I can't make it okay if you not to agree with me, then I wouldn't be in a reality that I could be free to speak in. And I want to be in a reality I'm free to speak in. So in order for me to be in a reality I'm free to speak in, then I absolutely create room for you to disagree and look at it from differently from the way that I look at it. But that doesn't have to affect my use of it. So we cool. You know, yeah, we cool. Like, okay, you don't have to believe a thing I've said today. That's okay. That's part of your freedom. As a matter of fact, the power of your thought comes from your thinking what you want to think. See, when you don't think what you want to think, it makes your thoughts impotent. So it's important that you think what you want to think, how you want to think, the way you want to think, that you take this and you apply it in whatever way that you want to apply it or not apply it. That's the power of your thought, is in your ability for you to choose what you want to think. But the beautiful part of that is it doesn't have to stop me from thinking what I want to think and using the thoughts I want to use, so I don't have to be attached to whether you do it or not, because I'm going to always reap the results of what I do to me. So I'm not even blaming you for anything anymore. And if I do, I know I'm the one that's misperceiving.
Right.
I know that I'm the one that's lost sight of the fact that I'm the creator of my experience, and you aren't. You aren't the creator of my experience. You aren't the creator of my experience. There's not a pain that I ever go through that you cause.
Wow.
There's not a pain or hurt that I ever experience that someone else is causing me. Watch how you feel about this statement. There's no pain that you've ever experienced on any level that anyone else has caused you, no matter what you think it is, no matter how it looks. There's no time you've ever experienced any kind of hurt that was caused by somebody else. And just watch your emotional reaction to that. Watch how your body reacts to that. Because if you hear it correctly, you're free. And even if you did, time took it away.
Yes.
That act isn't happening right this moment. So the only place it's still living is in your mind. And you're going to keep it in your mind as long as you think you're guilty and sinful. Because if you think you're guilty and sinful, you'll never let yourself feel good about nothing. And I'm telling you, you're not.
Yes.
You're not guilty and sinful. You make mistakes, I make mistakes, we all make mistakes, we make mistakes, you make mistakes, I make mistakes, we all make mistakes. Mistakes are for correction. Mistakes are for correction. They need to be corrected. Punishment is not correction. Punishment is not correction. Punishment is not correction. Punishing yourself and beating yourself up and putting yourself down is not healing you. It's not healing you. Punishing yourself is not helping you. Punishing yourself is not helping you. Punishing yourself in a relationship that brings you no peace. Punishing yourself with a financial situation that gives you no peace. Punishing yourself with a job that you hate. Punishing yourself with a relationship with God that doesn't give you any solace. I want to tell you, it doesn't work. It won't work, and it will never work. The Course says a person will stop doing something if they realize it doesn't work faster than they will stop doing something because it makes them feel guilty. You will stop a habit because it doesn't work quicker than how you feel bad about doing it again. Because the mind doesn't like mistakes.
Right.
The Course in Miracles said the mind doesn't like mistakes. Think about it. How often do people like to admit they made a mistake? We abhor it. We don't ever like to really admit in most cases that we made a mistake. We want to think we're right all the time. Mm-hmm. So if someone told you that letting yourself not be loved was a mistake, forgetting your spiritual power is a mistake, forgetting that you're abundant is a mistake, if that was told you it was a mistake to be in relationships that you only experience suffering, your mind will automatically start to correct the situation because your mind has already been trained to correct mistakes.
Wow.
You've been training your mind to correct mistakes since the day you started to learn as a child. So when you start calling fear a mistake, anger a mistake, separation a mistake, not loving yourself a mistake, not assuming responsibility for yourself a mistake, then you will find your mind will start to automatically correct those errors for you. It's a mistake to not think you're totally blessed. It's a mistake.
And I'm innocent.
You're totally innocent, and you don't know it. I'm totally innocent, and I don't know it. All right, so give it up. Come on. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up. You are blessed. Give yourself 1 minute to hear it. Can you give yourself 1 minute? 1 minute? Can you give yourself 1 minute? Huh? You are blessed. You are blessed. I am 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 blessed. We are 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 blessed. Now think about your friends and your relatives. I say think about your friends and your relatives. Oh, think about your friends and your relatives. Oh, think about your friends and your relatives. And then you go, they are blessed. They are blessed. They are blessed. They are blessed. What? They are blessed. They are blessed. They are blessed. They are blessed. Now, think about a friend that you know is going through a lot right now about something. Think about a friend that's going through a lot right now about something. And say to them right now, mind to mind, you are blessed. You are blessed. They might be afraid. You are blessed. They may be ill. You are blessed. 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 Yeah. I love you. Thanks for coming out. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. The next class, The Way of Mastery. Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Hugs are available for those who dare.